Over the last week, there have been a number of violent acts by right-wingers who have probably been motivated by someone like Donald Trump. We had an individual go into a synagogue and shoot up and unfortunately kill 11 Jewish people. We recently reported on a story regarding a man in Florida who went into a yoga studio and gunned down 2 women. And you would think that the leader of this country would understand the weight of his words, the importance of rhetoric and discourse in the country, but unfortunately he is still condoning violence. And he just did it today during a rally in Georgia. Take a look.
The contrast in this election could not be more clear. Republicans produce jobs, Democrats produce mobs. You've heard that. You've seen it. You've seen it. You've seen it. Antifa. They take the helmet off and they take the armbands, and you see these little arms, And then they see the clubs in their hands. You know, they're tough guys, right? Where are the bikers for Trump? Where are the? We've taken a lot. We've taken a lot, folks.
We've just had people murdered in the name of right-wing extremism that's been motivated by someone like Donald Trump. And he has the audacity to say, we've taken a lot. I mean, in the first year of his presidency, we had a protester who was run over by a Nazi. And you want to talk about how, Trump supporters and Trump himself, like they've been the real victims here. I mean, come on. And in the same statement, he's talking about how Antifa consists of small-armed wimps. So what is it? Are they violent, or are you scared of them? Because I'll tell you something, what I'm more afraid of is you sanctioning the type of violence that we've seen in the country over the last week.
Yeah, so there's been 4 right-wing terrorist attacks in the last 2 weeks. So the synagogue shooting, the bomber, you had a guy shoot up black people in Kentucky, killed 2. And now the incel guy who's a right winger who killed 2 women in Tallahassee, and shot 6. And he comes out and he encourages more violence. And he says, "Where are my bikers for Trump?" Like, oh, you should go after Antifa. They think they're tough guys. In other words, show them, what the real violence that we can do. Because we didn't have enough violence in the last 4 attacks. We didn't have enough violence in the last couple of weeks. So you encourage more violence. And then he has the audacity to talk about left-wing mobs. You're in front of a mob, and you're asking them to act like a mob, and then you turn around and call the left-wing mobs. You know what Antifa stands for? They should stop calling it Antifa. It stands for anti-fascist. So when the fascists in Charlottesville not only killed Heather Heyer, not only ran over 30 people, but they chanted blood and soil, a Nazi chant. And then they chanted, "The Jews will not replace us." Some of them went by and scoped out a local synagogue. The Jewish people in that synagogue were afraid to go out, and the cops couldn't come because they were too busy. Jesus. And then Donald Trump said there are good people on both sides. They were chanting, "The Jews will not replace us," and they murdered someone. And he said there are good people on that side. And in that synagogue attack, there's a guy who's 80 years old. He was in a concentration camp when he was 7 years old. He survived the Holocaust. Every day he goes to that synagogue. When he goes, he's always on time, he said. That day, he was just a little behind. He's 80 years old. He showed up a couple of minutes late and saw the shooting with his own eyes. If he showed up on time, the Nazis didn't get him in the Holocaust, but the fascists might have gotten him here. And this guy's still encouraging violence a day before the election. Where are my bikers? Why don't they do something about the anti-fascists? Why don't my fascists do something about the anti-fascists? The anti-fascists aren't strong enough, fascists. Show them how strong we fascists can be. Guys, absolutely sick. And every word out of his mouth is a lie. Oh, they don't know anything about jobs. The Republicans know about jobs. Bush crashed the economy. Obama brought back 8 million jobs. You're still riding on his coattails, and this guy's talking about how he knows jobs. Where are the wages? You said you'd improve people's lives. Wages have gone down under your watch. Where are they? All we've gotten is fear-mongering, hatred, loathing, and division. It's all we got from Donald Trump. On the go? Don't worry, we got you covered. You can still listen to TYT at our new podcast network. Find us on Apple Podcasts, the Google Play Store, or at tyt.com/podcast.